So let's say I'm trying to complete my guard pass, but he's keeping his knee and his elbow together in the way, or he started mounting his escape. Either way, I could have been on a Toriando, but he did a good job getting tight. Okay, so I'm gonna look to see if I can get my shoulder under this frame. Okay, so maybe I'm still even on that knee. Maybe I need to drop all the way towards the belly and then come back up. And then I'm gonna switch to checking the hip here. So this is important. Put my hand on the ground and it's my forearm that blocks his hip. And I'm anchored with my hand to the ground. So I'm tight in here. I already got my shoulder inside there. And I'm dropping to far side head, what I call far side head control here. Okay. So again, right here, he's fighting me here. When I make this switch, my shoulder has to come under and then I reach over so that I'm capturing his arm here and his frame is not functioning, right? I make that frame not matter now. And now, as I go to steer myself north-south, a good guy does not want me to go to north-south. He's gonna do everything he can to block me. So if he had his elbow in the perfect spot, he can block me. But as soon as I get further away, that leverage is working against him once I get past his elbow. And I want him to think he has a chance here because that's going to open his neck. So the more he stays on that, right, the more that I can reach in here for his head. So most people reach for the north-south choke on this side, right? And then they just say to collapse on the arm here. There's a chance for that. But the problem is his face is already turned into me here. And it's going to be much harder to get his head turned the way that I need to. He's expecting it on this side. And he is aligned to fight it better if I attack it by just going here. So I'm going to go all the way to the far side. Reach here, and I'm going to sit out all the way to the far side. This part's going to happen fast, the sit out. Everything else is going to happen slow. I do want to take away the space as quickly as I can, okay? So now here, him getting under me, which normally, if I was just trying to be belly down and finish right now, that would stop me from choking him. But since I'm set up, I give him all the space he wants here. It doesn't matter, okay? I'm just going to take this time here. He's pinned to get nice and tight. I'm feeding my hand through onto my inner thigh to pull my bicep tight. On that far side of his neck, I'm making sure my elbow stays on the ground. I'm using my ribs on this near side of his neck to make sure that his face stays turned away. Now, if he did turn his face over here, it's easier for me to use my body to make him look the way I want because this arm is already on the other side of the choke, which was not the case necessarily on the other side, right? A lot more chaos in dealing with that arm on the other side. Here I know where it is, right? And it's very easy for me to turn his face away or more likely keep his face turned away because he was already turning that way. A lot of times guys will try to turn into you on that side because that's what they're supposed to do, right? So here I am now to set up the finish, push this elbow across, and I'm trying to get my head behind it, almost like a reverse of the arm triangle, and trying to keep that blocked. I cannot let him get anything under. A good guy gets anything under me, it's going to be bad for me. Okay, so I keep walking that way. I'm driving my hips towards the top of his head, but I'm also sliding away to really drop my shoulder down as far as possible to close off the choke, right? And then usually, if I'm just practicing it, I shouldn't need to use two hands here, and I can get the tap, right? If a guy was fighting for his absolute life, then yeah, I can bring this elbow under me and connect my hands here. My choking arm is palmed down. Keep walking my hips into the head. I didn't even squeeze there. If guy's fighting for his life, yeah, maybe you need to squeeze to just close off those last couple millimeters. But when you do it like this, it's almost unstoppable because I'm anticipating everything, all his defenses right? And even if he did something drastic to explode out of here, there's other things that we can link into this north-south system, looking for Kimura traps, different things. So this has been my #1 submission on higher belts since I've been a black belt. And I think a lot of guys are not going to expect you to go to the far side. And you're also going to see that getting into that setup position already precludes a lot of the things they were going to do for defense. And they have very few options. So to get down to the nitty gritty, if he was going to do anything, he would have to re-pummel inside. I can keep re-pummeling from there. So if I made this transition where he was trying to block me from going there, but then when I reach for his neck, okay, get to where you can see this, he pummels inside. I'm staying tight here. I still have, there's not much he can do with this arm. I took the time to get my shoulder under his frame in the beginning. There's not much he can, so we've got a one-on-one here, but I'm on top, okay? So we have a little pummel fight here, right? Keep trying to pummel inside. Keep trying to pummel inside. But as soon as I sit out, everything lines up in a way. There's no way he's getting that hand back in. Once I get to here, I take my time. Again, I'm tightening by grabbing my inner thigh here, right? I just don't want to get rolled this way, right? So I keep my weight down a little bit, yeah. Push that across. If he's like trying to grab my head or something, okay. Then I can go towards the wrist and then back up to the elbow again. That first step back, again, things need to get tight. My elbow stays on the ground. Okay, walking my hips into the head, into the head, into the head, using my weight more than anything. Okay. So my bicep closes off the far side, my ribs and lat close off the near side. But then a lot of the choke is also just my shoulder coming down right on top of the trachea. And if you bring something down far enough right on top of the trachea, it also hits the carotid, which are just here, just outside the trachea. So try it out. Let me know how that works for you. The last time I taught this to a blue belt, he got 4 taps that night when he went and rolled. So let me know how it works for you.